how they feel is the most important thing, and pretty much screw teens like Rebecca Phillips or her 5-year-old little sister if they have to see things that they don't want to see. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for the support. On my channel, I like to give my opinion and perspective on things that are happening today, things that I think actually matter to everyday people, especially those of us trying to raise kids in the insanity known as today's society. I do like to talk about current events and politics, and my perspective does tend to be more on the conservative side of things. Please like this video, leave a comment below, and also share it with others. Also, be sure you are subscribed to my channel. Help me to grow this channel to hopefully reach more people that value logic, reason, and sanity. Also, be sure to find me on Rumble under Outspoken Samantha in the event that YouTube decides I have violated their community standards and chooses to kick me off their platform forever. That being said, let's get into today's topic. So today I wanted to touch on this story that happened just a few days ago, where the 17-year-old girl who was a regular at a YMCA in California went to do her morning exercise routine, and she had just finished swimming, and she was in the shower, or came out of the shower, and saw a transgender woman who is a biological male walk past her, buck naked, genitals hanging out and everything, and it completely freaked her out. She went to, I believe, the City Council meeting of Santee, the Santee area of California, to give her testimony on the incident and her, recollection of just how it affected her and just the worries and concerns that she had, not only for herself, but other, young kids that take camps, that do activities at the YMCA, and just the potential for them to be exposed to these things, and just kind of how that was received. So let's watch the video of her testimony real quick, and then we'll talk about some other aspects to this.
Good evening, council members and residents of Santee behind me. My name is Rebecca Phillips, and I'm 17 years old. I am not a resident of Santee, but I am employed at a local restaurant, the Omelet Factory, and I work out regularly at the Santee YMCA. Just 2 weeks ago, after finishing my shift at my job, I went to the gym to swim laps. As I was showering after my workout, I saw a naked male in the women's locker room. I immediately went back into the shower, terrified, and hid behind their flimsy excuse for a curtain until he was gone. I ran into a bathroom stall to change as quickly as I could, organizing my thoughts to share with the people at the front desk. As I did so, I could only think of my 5-year-old sister, who I bring to this gym during the summer to enjoy their water slides. This is the YMCA, where hundreds of children spend their summer afternoons in child care camps. This is the YMCA where my little sister took gymnastics lessons. The locker room was supposed to be her safe haven to gossip with her friends and shower and change. When I asked the YMCA management what their policy was regarding transgenders, they confirmed that the man that I saw was indeed allowed to shower wherever he pleased. As long as you are not a red flag on Megan's Law, the California Sex Offender Registry, a grown male can shower alongside a teenage girl at your YMCA location here in Santee. I was made to feel as though I had done something wrong when I talked to people at the YMCA. Somehow, the indecent exposure of a male to a female minor was an inconvenience to them. When my dad spoke to the sheriff's office, they told him that he should never allow me to shower there ever again. The YMCA wouldn't let my father speak to the manager of the Santee branch. After waiting several days, he finally received a call from Terry Moss, who is the director of membership for San Diego County. She informed my dad that I was not in any danger at the time of the incident, that I was safe. But I ask you this, I'm assuming all of you either have a wife, a sister, daughters, or granddaughters, or are a woman yourself. Could you knowingly send an underage girl into a room where there was a naked male and say that she was not in danger, that she was safe, or more importantly, that this was right? The fact that we are now tailoring our privacy policies and bathroom laws around transgenders, ignoring the blatant threat to safety that this poses, is obscene. The safety of children, girls, is on the chopping block. And this issue is not unique to one political party. Both Democrats and Republicans whom I have shared this story with have all been equally disgusted. So I implore you all to take action. With great privilege comes great responsibility. Whether it's requiring transgenders to use the single-stall family restrooms or making them use the bathroom which aligns with their biological
Thank you. Thank you.
And clearly this is insanity, because the soulless left is, of course, attacking this woman. She's 17 years old. They're attacking her for crying over this situation. But notice how she didn't start getting emotional until she thought of how this could impact younger girls like her 5-year-old sister and the numerous other kids that come there to have fun and to do these day camps and to just have a good time and make friends, and how this could impact them. And clearly, as a trans person, this individual has grabbed onto the narcissism promoted by the left, and that they don't care how anybody else feels, that how they feel is the most important thing, and pretty much screw teens like Rebecca Phillips or her 5-year-old little sister if they have to see things that they don't want to see. It used to be that it required consent by the other individual to be exposed to someone else's genitals, particularly of the opposite sex, that it was considered predatory for a man to expose himself to women, and especially young girls, and that you could be arrested for stuff like this. But now, because of feminists like this, women don't have the right to say no anymore. And of course, any of these feminists are going to stand behind any man that says he's a woman and give him more of a voice than women who were actually born that way, who are the ones that are truly standing up for the protection, the safety, and the rights of women. And, they'll never give any criteria that a man has to reach before he can be truly accepted and seen as a woman. He just has to say that he is. He just has to wake up one day and declare, I'm a woman, and he can expose himself to women and young girls, and he'll be protected by these feminists and trans activists. It's just completely bizarre, but it's obviously 100% true. And the response to this by one of the YMCA spokespeople was this.
Exactly, and I think following the law and making sure that all of our members are safe and feel welcome is exactly what we intend to do at the YMCA. As you know, KUSI knows more than anyone, the YMCA is a San Diego nonprofit. We're dedicated to diversity, inclusion, and equity. And I think it's unique to be talking about this issue on Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, and we're just here to really make sure that the community and the people know that we want our members to feel welcome, to feel safe, and take those precautions necessary.
So what do you do? I mean, how do you do this? I mean, this girl was in the women's locker room and she sees a naked man there who identifies as a woman. What do you do to make sure that this woman and other women don't have to see that if they don't want to?
Absolutely, and in response to this, we watched the video on social media like everybody else. We read the website, and our team has automatically been in communication with folks in Santee. Our operations team has taken a look at floor plans in locker rooms all across the association to ensure that privacy measures are there.
Tell me what you're doing.
Yeah, and when you talk, we just started this, right? I mean, we're talking about just a couple of days ago. The meetings have been held. And so are there things like additional curtains? Are there other things that we can do to make sure that our members feel safe, right? That they feel welcome and that they belong?
Do you think you need a third bathroom maybe? Would that satisfy everybody or not?
Yeah, I think what we want to do is we want to follow the law. When the California State Assembly enacted those state laws that you just referenced on the screen, that's what we follow as the YMCA. We're not the experts in this issue to a certain extent. We're the camp counselors. We're teaching kids how to swim. We're putting on yoga programs for senior citizens. So we follow and we rely on the advice of experts, those guidelines set forth by our elected officials from the state of California, and that's how we'll continue to conduct our organization moving forward.
So, of course, first he says their policy, they just want to make sure all members feel welcome. clearly, unless you're a biological woman, then essentially you can kick rocks. Then he starts talking about diversity, inclusion, and equity. And pretty much when you hear those words associated with any organization, it just means that they're signaling to the woke left, because the woke left controls them, and they are too weak to stand up for what's right. They have no morals, they have no independent thought, and they will not listen to the majority of the public. And then he also says that this started just a couple of days ago. Like, this is just a new thing to him. This is just a new concept. It's just a new issue. When honestly, this has been going on for years at this point. But because they are under the thumb of the woke left, they will talk about how much they care, but won't make any measures to change it whatsoever. Not to mention, there was a story of, I can't remember how long ago, probably about a year ago, where Julie Jamin, who's 80 years old, that she was in a YMCA as well, and perhaps it was just like last July, and she said that she was in the YMCA locker room, and it says, "I saw little girls with a man watching. There was no doubt in my mind that this was inappropriate and not acceptable, and I needed to stop right then and there." And she said, let's see, Jamin said she had just finished her swim and was taking a shower in the locker room when she heard a voice that she said did not belong in that setting. "I heard a man's voice, very distinctive," Jamin said. "I saw a man in a woman's bathing suit where 2 toilets are, and there were 2 little girls standing there taking down their suits to use the toilet. I looked at him and said, 'Do you have a penis?' And he said, 'It's none of your business.' And I said, 'You need to leave now.'" Because of this incident, Julie, the 80-year-old woman, bringing to attention the potential predatory situation that was happening there right in front of her eyes, she was banned from YMCA. She was the one that was faced consequences and backlash for trying to protect little girls. So this is not a new issue. This is not something that's just happening now that they haven't been aware of until this situation. And then, of course, he says we're not the experts. We're just doing what we're told. So essentially, he's admitting that he's a moron and will go along with whatever he's told, and that he's too weak-minded to question it or to be an actual man and to protect women. At least that's what I got from it. And so essentially the whole message there was, we plan to do nothing. The YMCA essentially plans to be pulled along on a leash by the demands of the extreme minority with absolutely no desire to think for themselves. And did you notice his face while he was talking about this video of Rebecca Phillips talking about her issue and how she got teary-eyed? It's almost like he was mocking her, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this issue is coming from a social media video and that this girl was crying. It's almost like he found it humorous. So the whole thing was just extremely, extremely disrespectful. Bottom line, this guy is an idiot, and the YMCA does not believe in women's rights. But back to Rebecca's statement about the threat of these kind of policies pose to young women and young girls. This is not just about whether or not this particular trans person was a threat. We don't know what their history is. I'm not going to assume that they have some kind of criminal history or that they did have predatory intent. Though I would say if you care so little about what exposing yourself to young girls and little girls will do, that doesn't really scream innocent to me, but this is about the opportunity for danger that this poses. The left likes to say that when we bring up this issue of potential harm by allowing biological-minded women spaces, that we're essentially saying that all trans people are predatory and dangerous. But that's not what we're saying at all. And it's just another argument that they use to silence women who are trying to stand up for their own rights and to advocate for their own safety and their own protection. This is about the fact that this leaves the door wide open for anyone who is a predator and wants access to naked women and little girls. And the fact that the policy the YMCA has in place in the name of diversity, equity, inclusion would allow predators to do this, to do essentially whatever they want. Because like I said, there is no criteria. Any man could wake up one day and say, I'm a woman, and the YMCA would stand behind someone like that and say, that is perfectly fine. You are welcome to walk around naked in our bathrooms and locker rooms and do whatever you want in front of whoever is in there. Unfortunately, these idiots have to realize the dangers of their policies the hard way. A woman or a young girl has to actually be assaulted or physically harmed before they see any problem with it whatsoever. And even then, they will still fight for these policies because they'll say, well, that's just a one-off incident. That's just, that's not common. It doesn't happen very often. That just happens to be that individual. But the fact of the matter is, any organization or business or anything like that that is run by the woke left, that's run by feminists, run by activists, they no longer have men's and women's spaces. They have men and men's spaces, and women who are the ones that say they feel unsafe. They're the danger to the woke left. They're the danger, they're the threat, not the people that are going in there and walking around naked in front of little girls. So I find this whole thing just completely appalling. The feminists and woke activists are the ones that have taken women back hundreds of years, where we don't have a say anymore, we don't have a voice anymore, we don't get to speak up when we feel unsafe, and they have entire activist groups that will stand for the predator over the woman, over the young girl, over the harm that this does. So let me know what your thoughts are below. I will leave the links to the articles of these different stories in the description box. Please like this video. Make sure that you're subscribed and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.